There are some things a woman can say on a first date that instantly reveal everything you need to know. But most men ignore it, they laugh it off. But the men who've been through it before, they hear it and they leave. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 red flag phrases that if a woman says this on a first date, you should walk away. Because if you let it slide, you're not being open-minded, you're signing up for chaos. And the beautiful part is, you can figure this out in the early stage, right there and then. You don't have to waste 3 months of taking her out on dates to figure out that she's a walking red flag. Guys, when you're on a first date, you want to pay attention to the things she says. So with that said, let's get right into it. The first red flag phrase that a woman can say to you is, I don't really know what I'm looking for right now. See, what this really means is that she's indecisive, emotionally unavailable, or still healing from something. She's not here to build with you. She's here to feel something temporarily. And that is a woman without a compass. This doesn't mean she's cute and quirky and she's just being playful with you. No. A fully grown adult woman who tells you she doesn't know what she's looking for, but she's on a date with you, is wasting your time. Because when she says this, she's waving a red flag in your face. That statement tells you that she's not serious about building something with a man. She's keeping her options and her eyes open. And if you stick around hoping to inspire her into clarity, you're playing a feminine role, waiting, hoping that you can bring her into your life. But that's not your job. You want a woman with clarity who tells you that she does know exactly what she wants, and that is you. And a bonus thing with this is, oftentimes when a woman's settled for you, she doesn't really find you attractive, but she's going on a date anyway because it's just better than being home looking at the 4 walls. Or she started to talk to you and she comes to find that you guys aren't really compatible, but you're goo goo gaga on her looks. This is when girls will say this. Oh, I don't really know what I'm looking for right now. Or I'm not looking for a relationship right now. It's like they're kind of settling for you, but they don't really want you. All you have to do is smile, end the day, and move on. The second red flag phrase you need to watch out for is if she tells you, all my exes were toxic. What it really means is that she lacks self-awareness and personal responsibility. Even if all of her exes were bad, the lack of ownership shows she hasn't grown. She's still narrating her past like a victim. And think about this. If every man she ever dated was toxic, ask yourself this. Why does she keep choosing them? A healed woman, a mature woman, would say, look, I've made mistakes too and I've grown, and she'll own up to them. But a hurt woman will say, it was all them. It's always the ex. They're all toxic, they're narcissistic, they're crazy. So if she's still stuck in that blame cycle, guess what? She's not ready for a relationship, she's ready to trauma bond. And if you stay with her, you'll be the next guy, she'll be telling to the next guy who is added to her pile of, all my exes were toxic. When she says this, politely exit and move on. The third red flag phrase that a woman can say to you on a first date is, I don't believe in gender roles. Because obviously I teach guys to vet women. Now obviously I prefer you guys to vet women before a first date. If you get her number, get her on a phone call, ask the questions that I teach. But furthermore, if you're just a guy who, for whatever reason, you're new to my work and your strategy is to just get a girl on a date when you have a number and you don't really ask her many questions, when you're on a date, one of the questions you want to ask her is, what are your thoughts on traditional gender roles? Ask her what she looks for in a man, how she expects a man to treat her, how she would treat a man. And this ties into this question, right? So if she tells you, I don't believe in gender roles, it's a red flag right out of her mouth. Why? Because this is a woman who's internalized feminist ideas that resist order and sexual polarity. And often this mindset leads to confusion in roles and conflict in relationships. It's not a partnership and there's no peace. A woman doesn't need to call you the leader, right? It should be obvious. But if she resents the idea of masculine leadership, she doesn't want to follow your lead and submit to you, then it's over before it even starts. What she's really saying is, I want to be in charge until it's inconvenient. That's chaos disguised as equality. Do you want to wrestle for your throne in the home? Of course not. Then don't date a woman who's allergic to it. You need to be with a woman who's feminine, who respects a man, who says she would happily open her heart to a good man who proves himself worthy. But a woman who says, no, I don't need a man, I'm independent, I don't believe in gender roles, I can do everything a man can do. That's a woman that has a broken identity. Maybe she had a bad mother role model, so her idea of femininity is shattered. Maybe she's been poisoned too much by feminism and hates men for whatever reason. Or she's not healed from her exes and she's bitter. But that is not a woman that's going to make a good wife or a good mother. And you don't have to waste 3 months. You can find it out right there and then. If I don't believe in gender roles comes out of her mouth, that's great. I don't believe in taking you out on another date. Good riddance. Red flag phrase number 4 is, but I'm really focused on my career right now. What it really means is you are not, and you will not be, her priority. She's not a bad person, but the truth is relationships take investment. If she's pouring her best energy into building a job or climbing the corporate ladder, you will get the emotional leftovers. Okay? Now, as a masculine man, if you're building your own career or you run your own business, that's masculine energy. You're already doing the masculine thing. You don't want to have another man. You want a soft, feminine, nurturing woman who's ready, willing, and able to emotionally invest in you. She can't be a good wife and a mother if she's too focused on her career. And I understand a lot of women out there, it's tough out there. They need to work for survival. They don't come from a good family who can take care of them. Not many people have that in life, and I understand that. But the key is, a feminine woman, if she's working, she's doing it for survival. Ultimately, she wants to find a good man who is willing to take care of her and fall into the traditional gender roles. So, if she's too masculine and she's too focused on her career or job and it takes precedent over you, she's marrying her job, not you. And this is a problem. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. If she's too focused on her career right now, that's fine. Go find a woman who's more focused on building a relationship. Don't try to fit into her schedule. Respect her for who she is, keep your standards, and move on. And last but not least, the red flag phase number 5 that can come out of her mouth on a first date is, I'm still friends with my ex, or I'm still in contact with my ex. Anything of that sort. What this really means is, there's emotional entanglement, her doors are open, insecurity is dressed as maturity. You're not starting from zero, you're entering a tug of war where the ex could come in and out of her life. And staying friends with the ex often comes from codependency. She hasn't really healed, she hasn't really let him go. You're the backup plan. She's trying to move on, she's trying to date someone new, but he's still there in her life. It's a validation fix. It's the world between worlds, a comfort zone. If she still keeps emotional access to a man she once slept with, shared secrets with, and who loved, how can you fully trust her heart is open to you? Friendship between men and women isn't truly possible anyways. But that's not the point. The point is, if she's serious about going on dates and bonding with you, there should be no other man in her life. You don't need drama, you need clean slates. If she hasn't shut the door, don't open yours. If you hear this on a first date, end the date and move on. And my final message for the guys listening is this: you're not paranoid, you're not insecure, you are discerning. These aren't red flags to argue with, they're exit signs. Don't ignore them and blame her later. Vet early, vet clearly, walk away when peace and clarity are not on the table. The wrong woman won't ruin your night, she'll ruin your life. Learn to walk away early. And if you would like to learn more about vetting women, raising your standards, and being part of a community of men, ranging from guys who are single, dating, engaged, or married, and you want to just fill in your knowledge gap and learn more about relationships and share what you learn along the way, join my school community. I'll leave the link down below.